Hello, everyone. This is the 2026 Asset Pre-Quiz. Um, yeah, we'll just jump right into it. Share screen. My name is Izan, and I will be hosting the quiz this month. So, Asset 2026 March quiz. Welcome, everyone. The first section is mathematics. What is 7 squared? Solve the system of equations. Compute this expression. Simplify this fraction. Multiply these expressions. Which theorem applies to right-angled triangles? Which relation correctly spits out all the prime numbers? You pick 5 points on a 4D sphere at random. What is the probability that the shape formed contains the circle's center? Science. Which organelle produces ATP in eukaryotic cells? What is the pH of a neutral solution at 25 Celsius? Enzymes are consumed and used up during chemical reactions. Which type of bond involves the sharing of electrons? What is the SI unit of force? Throw n balls randomly into B boxes. A equals n over B, the average, and the P of x is the probability that any given box has x balls. Approximate P of x. What type of galaxy is the Milky Way? What is the primary gas in Earth's atmosphere? Which law explains F equals ma? Electrons in an atom are located in the nucleus. English. Something uses like or as to compare two things. What literary device is used in The Classroom Was a Zoo? Which of the following best defines theme? What is the tone of a passage? First person point of view uses you as the narrator. Conflict is a struggle between opposing forces in a story. Which sentence is grammatically correct? What is an example of alliteration? What is the purpose of a thesis statement? Which word is a synonym for reluctant? History. What was one of the main causes of World War I? The Western Renaissance began in Asia before spreading to Europe. Which document declared the American colonies' independence from Britain? Who was the first president of the United States? The Cold War was a direct military conflict between the US and the Soviet Union. What was the main goal of the Marshall Plan? Over which land did Gilgamesh rule and when? Which empire built the Colosseum? What was a major effect of the Industrial Revolution? Which movement aimed to end racial segregation in the United States? Computer science. What does CPU stand for? Which data structure uses FIFO? What is the output of this code? Print 2 exclamation point multiplication sign 3. Which language is primarily used for web page structure? What does bug mean in programming? A stack follows last in, first out. Python is a compiled language only and not interpreted. Which of the following is a loop structure? What does RAM stand for? An algorithm is a step-by-step procedure to solve a problem. Engineering. Friction always makes motion easier. What is the main purpose of engineering? Which part of the engineering design process involves testing and improving a prototype? What type of force stretches an object? Prototypes are early models used for testing designs. Which material is known for being both strong and lightweight? What simple machine is a ramp an example of? What is a constraint in engineering? All engineers work alone without collaboration. Which branch of engineering focuses on designing bridges and buildings? Geography. Which country has territory on the most continents? Which river carries the greatest volume of water? The equator passes through more countries in South America than in Africa. Which of these countries is landlocked? Which country's territories has the most time zones? Africa is the only continent located in all four hemispheres. Which mountain range separates Europe and Asia? Which city is furthest north? Thank you for participating in the ACIT 2026 March quiz. I thank you for watching this video.